So I'd like to say, first of all, that I'm delighted, and that's the word, I'm delighted to be making a contribution to the archive, and I just want to say thanks to Lucy for the invitation. So I'd like to begin by saying 2 or 3 poems that are to do with family. And the first poem, which is called The Giant Basket, is a simple wee thing that I usually use to introduce myself. It's about doing the groceries when I was a youngster, about doing the groceries when I was 10, but in a kind of particular context. At that time, my parents, who had been split up, got back together again, and my dad had a breakdown. So at the time, we were living in a caravan. My mother was out cleaning houses. Dad wasn't fit to do anything. So Mum, because there were so many of us youngsters, she gave us all particular jobs to do. And my job was to do the groceries. And she gave me one lesson, if you like. Here's how you do the groceries. Here's what we need every week. And for the next 2.5 years, that was my job, including negotiating with a local bakery about a batch of loaves, for example, that had collapsed a little bit. I'll give you so much for the whole thing. So, never thought about it until my own first child, my own daughter Molly, was 10. And this is the wee poem I wrote, thinking back to when I was 10. The Giant Basket. My father officially wasn't well, if anyone asked. His nerves were bad. And every Friday night I would stand before my mother at the sink. She would wet her comb and somehow find a shade, and beads of water lit on her nylon housecoat. And because I had more sense than Jared, I would get the giant basket and the pound to go to Mrs. Bell's and Mr. Fay and see if they've anything put aside today for Mrs. Gorman, and make you sure to say that it's for Mrs. Gorman. Don't be long. It was a brave step up the Shimna Road on a winter's evening, black and cold. But oh, how lovely it was to feel responsible at the age of 10. Oh, how lovely it was to carry the giant basket for your own wants. Slightly damaged peaches and day-old bread and sausage rolls which flaked more than they should were all heaped into my basket. And best of all were bruised eclairs and buns from Mrs. Bell. And I would come home like a little forklift truck carrying the giant basket out in front. My brothers and sister whooped and danced about, and my mother would make some tea to warm me up. And even my father, sullen in his chair, would be a little brighter with his share. And with a deal of anarchy, we'd make a meal of Friday's tea. And no mistake.